You want to do it again? Have you got it? I'll spin him, and then you can grab that piece and then do it again. Coming? Alright, when you're ready, have to step in on him. Hold it up. Wiggle it. Watch your arm on that latch. Geez, you're making me nervous. There we go. That's all we're going to do for a crocodile show. I hope you learned something about these amazing critters. Don't forget about the other activities we have on today. But from myself, these girls and Hagrid, thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the rest of the day.
We're having a crack at a golfer. So is anybody up here on holidays and staying up in Port Douglas at the Sheridan Mirage Golf Resort? If you want to go golfing, just mind your step. There was a very unlucky guy. He was out there having a game of golf. He had just teed off near the waterway and he had a 4-metre crocodile jump out behind him. Now, luckily, he was very agile and managed to get himself out of there very, very quickly. But as you can imagine, some complaints were made. And so Dougie did have to be targeted for removal. Now, it is very, very lucky for Dougie that he was unsuccessful in that little hunting spree there. It's also lucky for the golfer, I guess. But because here in Australia, if somebody does get taken and eaten by a saltwater crocodile, it does become a forensic investigation and you have to get the remains back. So that means that if he had have managed to grab onto that golfer there, most likely Dougie would have been destroyed. So very, very good for him that he is now here at Hartley's. Now, I've been blabbering on for a little bit. Maybe these guys want to go and do something dumb. I actually can't see Brody, he might be already doing it. Not yet? We'll wait to hear some screams. All you guys along the fence line, when they are up there messing around with the crocodiles, I can't see too well, so you're going to have to keep an eye on him for me. If anything goes wrong, just make sure you're filming it. Going to see if we can get some more crocodiles up. We'll throw some more food out, see if we can get some action, it looks like. Going to go for a hand feed in the cage here with Xena. Oh, nailing them today. Spot on. You're welcome, Eden. Now, can we all hear that sound out there in the back with Brody over there, that big popping sound? That's what we call a jaw pop. There was a big one. So we call that a jaw pop. Now, that is just air displacement. It's the same thing when you clap your hands. There's obviously a lot more force when a crocodile is closing their jaws, though. Now, with our saltwater crocodiles, nothing actually bites harder. They have the strongest bite force on the planet. So on average, they're biting down at around about 3,700 psi. So that's pounds per square inch. To put in perspective just how tough that is, we as humans bite down at our hardest at about 90 to 100. Even big cats average around 1,000, so 3,700 on average for a saltwater crocodile. However, there was a 5-metre crocodile in the Northern Territory. They measured his bite force and he was consistently biting down at 4,500 to 5,000 psi. So, to put it bluntly, anything that finds themselves in the jaws of a saltwater crocodile probably not going to find their way back out. So nothing is going to bite harder. So, along with that, these animals do have a few other adaptations that allow them to be ambush predators and really successful hunters. So, if you have a look at Dougie right here in front of me, oh, that's making me nervous, all that scrambling up there. If you have a look at Dougie here in front of me, you'll notice that he is only showing a small portion of his body. He is showing 2% of his body to us right now. It's what we call the minimal exposure posture. So just his eyes, his ears, and his nostrils. Just what he needs to get a good view of what is in his surroundings, scoping out potential prey. Because in their environment, they are described as being semi-aquatic ambush predators that are primarily targeting land-based prey at the water's edge. So animals coming to the water's edge for a drink, things like that, that's what they're looking out for. Now, they do have excellent vision. They can see really well in low light conditions as well. They have really good hearing. They have even better hearing than us when it comes to locating where a sound is coming from. And they also have very impressive sensory when it comes to smelling. Now, obviously, when they are hunting for their prey and they go underneath the water, all of that basically goes out the window. So they have got another adaptation, basically a sixth sense, that allows them to know exactly where they need to strike out for their prey. So I'm going to demonstrate with Dougie over here. So he should pop under, he knows what's going on, and he is going to make his way to where he thinks I am splashing this food right now. Because on almost every scale of their body, they have got something called a dome pressure receptor, or an ISO. Now, these are able to pick up on vibrations and ripples and any movement that displaces the water around them. So they know exactly where their food is. They don't have to visualize it in order to find it. So Dougie should be what we call inbound right now. He can actually feel those water droplets just coming off of this food here. So, God, you ruined it, but you were early. But can you see how accurate he was there? He was right on the money, wasn't he? Oh, nice jaw pop. Now, while he's got his head up, can anyone see anything a little bit different about Dougie?
He's got no teeth.
He's got no teeth, yes. So, like I said, we don't have a record on his history. We don't know how old he is or anything like that. Are you going to try and take this from me? There you are. Oh, he's going to play the hard game today. Can't lose this. Sorry guys, I'm just going to focus for a second. Just going to be a little bit cheeky today, isn't he? Now, like I said, we don't have any records on Dougie. So one thing that usually means little to no teeth in saltwater crocodiles usually means old age, or that they're an older animal. Now, we don't think that that's the case with Dougie here, but we don't know for sure. Can I have this back, please? Oh. So we have a few other theories. No, I lost. We have a few other theories on why Dougie is missing his teeth. So it could just be genetics. Good luck getting him out later. So it could just be genetics. But again, there's no way for us to tell that. Now, it could also be dietary, but in saying that, every other crocodile here gets fed the same diet as him, and they don't have that same issue. So we don't think that it's that. The third theory that we have is potentially along the lines of his life, he has gotten into a fight or hit his head really hard, and he's actually damaged the lining in his jaw, which means that he can't replace his teeth anymore, because these animals are known as being polyphyodont. They don't just have one set of teeth their entire life, they're constantly replacing them. So that's one of the reasons that we can't figure out age with these guys, because we can't use dentition to work out age like you can with other species. So potentially he's just damaged the lining in his jaws, but we'll never really know for sure. Now we're going to get Dougie out at the end of the show as well, if he wants to come out after that lovely feast that he just had. And hopefully show you guys his full size, get a good look at him, but we'll deal with that a little bit later in the show. Sounds like there was a lot of action going on up there. I hope you guys are all filming like I asked. He's still alive? Awesome. That's good news. That's what we like to hear. Seems like a good place to be. So I think one of the crocs up there that he's been dealing with is actually the original Psycho. So a few of these crocs do go a little bit harder than the others, but I will point out that what these guys are doing, it looks really easy, but it is a lot harder than it seems. If you wanted to try this yourself, you can't just grab a piece of KFC and go and do it to any wild crocodile. You're not going to have the same result, trust me. These are all conditioned skills that we're working by, and obviously these croc guys go through a lot of training to work around the crocodiles, know what they're doing. Now, before we do move over to getting Dougie out, I'm going to pass it over to you guys and see if anyone has any questions about the crocodiles in here. Anything you'd like to know? Yeah? Big voice.